welcome to FRAMN. My name is Nian Nguyen and I'll be your host for this evening. This week we'll be talking about teamwork, and we all know how important teamwork can be to make a successful company. So today we're joined by top members of BHP Billiton to learn more about the kind of teamwork that make or break a company. But first, let's learn a little bit about the history of BHP Billiton.
For years, BHP Billiton has developed contributions to the industry, communities, and economics around the world. Formed from a merger between BHP and Billiton, they value their heritage and strong foundation on which their companies were built. From two small mining companies founded in the 1800s, they are now the world leaders in diversified resources in the industry. The history of BH Billiton. Billiton roots trace back to 1851, and in a time when there was a small tin mining company, little known in Indonesia. Billiton Island and Billiton Island. Billiton became a global leader in the metal and mining sector and major producer of aluminum, chrome, magnesium, ore, alloys, steam coal, nickel, titanium, and titanium materials. Billiton also developed a substantial growth of copper portfolio. Finding out more about Billiton history prior to the merger with BH Billiton in their chronological history. The history of BHP. Broken Hill Proprietors. Rich history began in silver, lead, zinc, and mining company in Brooklyn Hill, Australia. Incorporated in 1885, BHP engaged in discovery, development, production, and marketing of iron ore, copper, oil and gas, diamonds, silver, lead, zinc, and a range of other natural resources. BHP, Broken Hill Proprietors, was also a market leader in value in flat steel products. The merger of the two companies in June 2001 became one of the largest diversified resource companies. Among the world's largest producers and major commodities include aluminum, coal, copper, iron, ore, magnesium, nickel, silver, uranium, substance, industries, and oil and gas.
Well, now that we know the history of BHP Billiton, how about a little insight on how the organization runs and how teamwork is incorporated into the company?
As far as being team leaders, the merger of BH Billiton demonstrated synergy, the creation of a whole greater than the sum of the individual parts by pooling both their company's individual talent, resources, and mergers and efforts together, and creating extraordinary results throughout the collectivities of this action. Billiton uses communication networks, decentralization and centralization by having teams in the same city, regions interacting intensely and closely together on a complex task to create long-term shareholders' values through discovery, acquisition, development, marketing of natural resources. And the other teams across the globe worked tasks independently together.
So can you tell me how BHP goes about making teamwork effective?
BHP achieved this by defining a clear goal, by committing to excellence, by hiring capable team members, and by the instauration of collaborative climate. The first point of this topic is team building through recruitment and selection. BHP Billiton attract, employ, and develop people with exceptional skills who share their values and want to make a difference. Those values are safety, integrity, high performance, courage to lead, respect for each other.
So I'm sure when you're recruiting, there's a big old process of how you decide to choose your candidates. So how do you know which candidates fits best with the company?
The recruitment and selection principles are designed to ensure that the best candidates are chosen. For each job, the candidate for a position with BHP Billiton should demonstrate leadership capability, technical knowledge, dedicated work ethic, and ability to work well with each other. The second point of this topic is team building through training and orientation. One goal of BHP Billiton training and orientation is to make sure that everybody feel important and know what is to be done to achieve the goal. They teach the candidate the culture of trust and collaboration and the commitment to common goal. During the training, the candidate gains exposure to exceptional leaders. He grows personally and professionally. He establishes sustainable professional network that will contribute to his career with the company.
So I understand that there's a certain structure to how teamwork goes about in a company from the top to the bottom. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
The team leaders and supervisors give special attention to the activities, maintenance activities, while still making sure the responsibilities are shared and distributed among all team members. Shareholders of the BHB Billiton Limited and PHB PLC take key decision making, including the election of directors, through a joint election process under the shareholders of two companies effectively voted on a joint basis. Example of creativity in a team decision making is BH Billiton Group has certain contractual arrangements with other participants engaged in joint activities involving the group's ownership of assets dedicated to the purpose of each venture. These arrangements do not create a jointly controlled entity of the ventures, directly derive the benefits of operations of their jointly owned assets rather than deriving interest from an interest in separate entities. The financial statements of the Billiton Group includes its share of assets in such joint ventures together with the liabilities, revenues, and expenses arising jointly or otherwise from those operations. All such amounts are measured in accordance with the terms of each arrangement, which are usually in proportion to the group's interest in the jointly controlled assets. The BHP Billiton Company states our corporate strategy is based on owning assets diversified by commodities, geographic, and marketing. Example of brainstorming for Billiton to achieve this, they also needed a workforce that reflects diversity in all forms together, gender, skill, experience, and ethnicity. Embracing openness through teamwork, diversity, and relationships that are mutually beneficial. Reflects their core values of respect and is focused on their people, strategies, and all efforts. They aim to be exclusively and build pride and loyalty in the workplace. The BH Billiton Group functions operate under the instructions of the group community to ensure the group meets governance, assurance requirements, and activities necessary to improve the overall effectiveness of the group. Group thinking in a company can make it hard for teams to criticize, evaluate another's idea and suggestions. In a company as large as BH Billiton, this would be counterintuitive, especially when evaluating its capabilities. This is why the Billiton Company encourages a workplace where people speak up and say if they are unsure how to respond to a situation or don't understand any elements of the business. BHP Billiton used small teams of employees to form committees. A committee is designed to work for a special task on a continuing basis, that work on special tasks on a continuing basis for its community-based activities and programs that are undertaken at various stages of their projects. Due to the financial commitment of BHP Billiton Company, the employee teams that are responsible for overseeing the community-based programs show the cohesiveness of each member and the attractiveness and motivation to remain a part of the team, protect the amazing contributions of the company. These BHP Billiton-based community work on activities and programs that are designed to improve the quality of life for the people in the community where billiton operate in a substantial way.
Meetings are very important, and they happen every day. They happen in the workplace, they happen in big companies and small companies, they happen in school, but 69% of most meetings are said to be ineffective. Why is that? Poor communication and unclear goals.
So, to my understanding, there are two types of communication, centralized and decentralized.
There are two types of communication: centralized and decentralized. Centralized are for more simple tasks, not too much information being passed, probably a small, short meeting, getting straight to the point. Decentralized communication is where lots of information is being passed. So that's probably a bigger meeting with more people, more complex, and you're working on a plan.
That's all the time that we have for today, folks. I'd like to thank you, our guests from BHP Bloomington, for joining us tonight, as well as the viewers from watching. Um, this is Nien Nguyen from FRAN signing off. We'll see you next week.